Their playstyle here, what they wanted to accomplish was to be passive with the goal of having all 4 up in that late game. So you just brought up like the game plan right now for RTG. And looking at the overall leaderboards, RTG #1, baby.
I mean, you get top 2 finishes back to back, and that's going to be the result. Gorgeous playing path to start things off here. Coming back to Erangel. We'll see once again what Pachinki looks like, if we'll have the 2 ships passing in the night kind of situation, or if we'll see more of a scrap there this time around. Once again, I mean, looking at the overall damage leaderboards there, wow, Mafios doing so much work for Alpha7, breaking that 1K damage mark in 2 games. Dave, that is terrifying.
1K all day, that's what they're saying, 1K all day. And Alpha7, everybody knows, extremely aggressive squad. If you're in their crosshairs, they're going to make sure to try to take you out or go out attempting to take you out. They love it, man. They love getting those kill points. And right now, 2 games, 11 kill points. Not too bad. I mean, if we had to compare them, RTG first place, they also have 11. But Destiny, at that last match, 17 kill points. And of course, each kill is worth 1 point. So you have to kind of take that into consideration when we're going to be looking at, what, we got 18 more games to go here.
We do indeed. Man, crazy amount of games over these 4 days, back to back to back. Teams are going to have a lot of time to sit down and workshop, day over day. Because sometimes in the other formats, you play a couple days, you've got a couple days off, you can sit, you can watch VODs, you can look back at the map feed, you can watch the rotations, etc., etc. You can make notes, you can try and prepare. They're going to have way less of this time. So if you're a coach, analyst, etc., working with these teams, you've got to be on the ball right now. Hawkeye just trying to get a sense of how these teams are playing it. And so far, Ghost, we'll see how they're going to be doing here up against Guns. Guns, Dave, has been, I think, I don't want to say the biggest disappointment so far because it's still too early for that. And I think they've been getting a little bit unlucky. But I think they're still my biggest question mark in all this.
Yeah, Guns from Iraq, talking to Pico, they said that they've been grinding nonstop, just grinding, preparing for this. And looking at this, Guns, Ghost, we know the battle for Pachinki. Game 1, we didn't really see it, but I think Guns, they just need to flip that switch and play their aggressive play style. I think instead of playing it slow here early game, go for the throw, go for Ghost Gaming, because I think once when they get the squad wipe onto Ghost Gaming, we'll start to see that confidence kind of build back up into Guns Esports after 2 games, pretty lackluster performance considering they only have 1 point so far.
Yeah, not having the best start for this team, for sure. And I agree. I mean, from what I've been hearing from multiple sources, they've been kind of dumpstering Ghost in scrims here in this opening fight. And the way they're moving towards each other right now, I'm not sure if we're going to have a repeat of that last Erangel matchup when they both just ended up rotating out. Ghost got a vehicle, reset the play. Guns are advancing, encroaching into this territory, because it's interesting. This is the same thing, exactly the same layout that we saw in that first game, which means they've sort of identified which half of the city they're going to play on, sort of mutually agreed on that. But we'll see if that little gentleman's agreement, the truce, holds, or if they will continue to take a fight as we're seeing Team Case rolling up onto Onyx. Onyx, who had a good first opening fight in that last game, though, Dave, I think we both agree, it was a little bit sloppy. Definitely room for improvement.
A little sloppy, but we did compliment them that they did come out on top. They got 3 kills and they lost Master in that situation. And this time around, looks like Master will be by themselves once again, probably calling for help. I do see a couple of squad mates in vehicles trying to rotate over here. Uzi in hand, though. It's going to be a challenge.
Oh, they know.
Yeah, they heard it. Here comes the smoke in the stairwell.
Be trying to buy some time. Short fuse on that nade. Going to be trying to look and build some space here. Does have the Uzi.
Trying to buy time.
That's exactly it. Yep, he's just trying to buy time for his teammates to come in and rotate, because they're not in this next circle too, which is kind of unfortunate. They're some of the few teams that are not in this next circle. This Master's actually going to jump on the outside. His teammates are rolling up, take some shots from behind, but he's able to survive for now. Nice little play there from Master, can try and reset as his team Onyx is pushing on in here and towards Fairy Pier. Absolutely massive play from them to try and keep their teammate alive. I love this decisive play, Dave. Other teams would have left it be, would have let their teammate die. No, Onyx says, we're going to take this fight. We've got the time. Let's make it work.
Hey, Paul, we all are playing Gamers Without Borders, no one left behind. So they're definitely living up to that motto here for this event, and they made sure pop in here and get their squad mate, provide that support right now. And we'll see. I mean, honestly, looking at Onyx, I feel like they're in the advantage now. They're on the outskirts, starting to wrap around. Team Queso, they committed a lot of resources right now on this compound. They could get pinched.
It all comes down to Nitsu and Axel here, the two off-angle anchor players. Yeah,
there you go.
Okay, well, you needed. I appreciate the thought process going for the wide route, but oh my goodness, are we skate shooting? What is this? They're just at the range, one after another, and just like that, Onyx got dismantled. I talked about this, and in this last game, I said Team Queso is starting off hotter than we have really seen them in the past, and I think they're carrying that into this next one. They took a lot of early fights in that last game, Dave, and it seems it's got them fired up.
I did really miss you. Taking out the pump. Hey, knock, 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 knock. It's time to, that eviction notice right here. The Bison, I don't know if the Bison can cut it, 1v4. Oh, and they're not only going to be coming in from the stairs, they're coming in, they're bolting up here. They're going to be catching all these angles.
Oh, no.
They're everywhere. They are everywhere right here.
They're in the walls. Dude. This is the worst zombie movie experience. Okay.
Here comes Bison to work. All right. The Molly spread, though, right now, we're in a Molly meta. That it spreads so far and wide and does so much damage. And back to what I was going to say, though, Onyx, I do appreciate that they were able to pick up their squad mate master, right? They provide the support. They pulled out the compounds, and we saw them starting to try to wrap around that compound and get all those angles. Like, I did appreciate the play. I truly did. What went wrong, though? I'm trying to think. Like, I
can tell you.
Tell me.
I can tell you. Because they're used to playing, I think some situations teams are used to playing against teams that'll turtle and play a little more defensive. A lesser squad than Team Queso would have turtled in that compound. But Team Queso knew they were going to get wrapped, so they wrapped themselves. They want to send a player up the coast and down the coast. They got even further wide, and they didn't appreciate, they got the high ground on top of on the roof as well. They did the door jump.
That was huge.
And so that was huge. So it's that double factor. A lesser team than Team Queso wouldn't have spread out those angles quite as well, and that was the difference there. Onyx not appreciating that a team that's as good as TQ would be one step ahead.
Onyx represent Georgia here, and I have to agree, the high level of teams, players, and just general competition right now in this event in the 4 days. I gotta say, it's at the top. These are like the cream of the crop when it comes to players and skills, and not only that, just like game knowledge in general. Like they know. So getting taken out right there. You know what's going to happen, though? That's going to open it up for Guns Esports, my squad, Froz's team, all right? They weren't the first one to get taken out this game, so already looking pretty good here, Paul, on a positive note.
Yeah, they're in the thick of it right now. Got Godson on one side, 19 on the other, Ghost on the other. Konina Power up here. Going to be trying to move their way in towards Shelter outside of Milta, keeping an eye on, I believe that's Clash that's rotating by as well. Yes, it is. So keeping an eye on this as they're rotating to the crossroads. I like this from Clash. They're not overextending too far here. Azer is doing a great job of trying to play scout. It is there as well. Back him up. All right. Okay.
Going back to our discussion last game, you brought up the example of that 3-1, Coops when we look at the Knights and looking at here Alpha7. I kind of want to see that for Konina Power. I want to see them let Nomi do their thing. Nomi, a strong player, phenomenal player. I want them to provide that room for Nomi to really go for those plays. And I'm going to put it easy. Listen, you got LeBron on your team. Give him the ball. Set him up for those plays to get the ball, make those plays, make those points. I think that's what Konina Power, I think that's what they might be searching for. All the players, don't get me wrong, all the players on Konina Power, phenomenal, great. But Nomi, for me, it sticks out. They stick out as like that star on the squad. So I keep seeing time and time again, like Nomi trying to make some plays, but not supported enough, and they get picked off first. And right then and there, it's like, dude, the star player already down. And then it goes from being aggressive to being defensive, and it just hasn't been working out. I mean, Konina Power, they're doing okay. They're doing all right. 8 kills so far, but I know they could be doing better.
Yeah, and they're not happy with their performance right now. Middle of the pack. See what they can do to try and improve as 19 Esports. A little bit of road rage. Driven by Next Street Gaming there. Neither one opting to slow down and take the fight. They both want to get set up in a better position in this next circle. They've got the whole game in mind. They're not going to keep themselves in a bad spot just to try and get a single kill point. As we did also end up seeing Team Queso picking up a kill down there on the bottom side. I believe it was into Guns Esports it was. So keeping an eye on that as well. As, ooh, this is Rod rotating in. And Dave, I don't know if they're necessarily aware they're going to need a... Yeah, they do. They know.
They do know, but there's a lot of distance between the two teams, and they are in the zone, and no one's going to be coming in from the south on that bridge. So both squads can kind of turtle up, you know, play it out, relax a little bit, and kind of see where this next zone goes, and kind of looking on around. Opposite play style, Ghost trying to flex out, trying to stake their claim, put their flag in the soil, I guess you can say, out here for USA. They play this hill a lot. There's a nice little buffer between them and everybody else for the time being, but this is a hot spot. A lot of teams, especially coming in from the west, they like to rotate through that area or near it. So Ghost definitely looking ahead, looking to maybe capitalize and get some kill points.
And they need to. They're in 13th place. They have 6 points over these 2 games. They've not had the start they were looking for here. Another one of these hot and cold teams. Ghost Gaming is either like Tensa and crew absolutely fragging out, Bayo just getting insane triple kills with nades, or they're just sort of a flash in the pan and they're just getting taken out early and don't have huge impact. This team has changed a lot with the inclusion of Bayo. Like this squad has evolved a lot over the years, and I think they're still, like a Kunina Power, still really searching to define what exactly their play style is, because they can flex in so many different directions, but this isn't a game where being a jack of all trades is necessarily a good thing. The teams that we've seen really step up and excel year over year are the teams who know what they're good at and push to put themselves in positions to do just that.
And the thing is, Tensa, HH, Spec, all like top fraggers looking at USA in general. But for me, I feel like Tensa and HH, they kind of need to warm up a little bit. Their duo synergy. And once when it gets warmed up, then they're just, you know, nonstop popping off left and right. And Spec, of course, top fragger alone, I believe MVP. Then you got Bayo, one of the biggest brains coming on out from the USA. I mean, just having basic conversations about PUBG Mobile with Bayo, you learn something new every single time. I can tell you that from experience, just talking to the dude. Like, he knows. And talking about knowing, trying to get the circle algorithm, as Bayo would put it. Next zone does go on up. Destiny, once again, that mansion area playing in their favor, but they are awfully close to Alpha7, so that's going to be a huge fight, a rematch, I guess you can say, from last game.
Yeah, I wouldn't really call it much of a fight that first time around. Alpha7 was in a pretty rough shape when Destiny came in and cleaned them on up. But yes, this is definitely an opportunity for revenge as Chivas moving in. You can see Fran, the almost hero from game number, I'll say still hero play, making it to that top 2 in that first game. We'll see what they can do this time around as everybody's rotating in. Still 15 teams alive, I should say, almost 60 players in the lobby, which means we're about to start hearing some guns blazing. As you can see, Ghost in towards that crate, able to pick that up. That could be huge for them. RTG potentially in a bad spot, but Carry Boy's able to make it out as well as Choppa. This is big for them. RTG keeping all 4 players alive. You called it, Dave. That's the strat, and they're in a good position to do that once again.
That's the strat, man. Zooming by with this McLaren. They got 2 vehicles. Looks like they're going to do a little bit of scouting. Looks like they're going to be calling this home for the time being. Not too bad. Not too bad. Going to be between Ghost getting that crate out there to the west and Loca Nostra over there in prison. Loca Nostra playing the cliffs of prison. It looks like this tower for the time being will be camp. As we're looking over here, Godset. Some shots on a 19E. Canada out here.
Taking some shots. Taking a look at the meds as well, trying to keep an eye on that. Because even if you're not able to get the kills, all the damage is doing work over the long term. You're destroying armor, helmets, making them waste meds and stims. It's a big deal. Interesting, Godsent right on the edge of this next circle. Not ideal. 19, will be able to play Gatekeeper here potentially. He's going to need a power on Alpha7 once again going at it. As Gonzo's going to go down. That's actually a big deal here. Kanina Power has completely rethink this fight. And Dave, we've seen this happen to them over and over again in these last few games. They try and take a fight, but they get there too late. They're forced to reposition. They take casualties along the way. They are able to get around Alpha7, but I'm not sure it's going to make a difference.
Yeah, I guess, chalk that one up to some scouting because, they lost their squad mate, immediately popping that U-turn, immediately be like, yoink, no thanks. They found a compound for the time being. Alpha7 still going to be playing the zone sweepers out here on the edge. But in general, there's like 5 teams all stacked on top of one another over here in prison. It's going to be a bloodbath here, Paul.
It is indeed. His team Queso was rolling on up. Axter's able to take him down, just get dropped in return. As Rescanita Power trying to stabilize the team, gets a good amount of damage to get on in there. Ayala going down, that's absolutely massive. Nitsu, one of the last ones standing here, is Axter with Uzi trying to make it work, closes the door, but gets shut down himself. Nicely done there from KP, trying to stabilize this fight. They were crashed upon the compound, so we're able to leverage the angles, but Alpha7's coming in here, potential look to third party this as well. His team Queso looking to just try and keep themselves alive, and in this, Nomi with the nade toss. Dave, can they find it on the outside? Team Queso is taking some damage.
Itsu can't even see nothing in the smokes, going for that hip fire, that pre-fire. Nomi on the stairs down below. They're trying to get these grenades up those stairs. Alpha7, they were looking to push this third party. They said, no thanks, we're going to go towards the zone. Ayala bleeding on out on the outskirts. Nitsu trying to pop that heal. Has a molly out for the time being to buy some time to get that heal off.
Here's the footsteps, goes for it. Pre-firing around the corners, goes in with the M4 and gets it done. Nomi. That MVP status will end up getting dropped, but drops his opponent 6 feet further. Team Queso goes down. Conina Power holds strong, but Dave, they are so far from this next zone. It was a hard shift to the west. So now all these teams that were piled up on each other on prison, like you talked about, they've all got to rotate. It is going to be scrappy. It's going to be the Wild West.
I honestly think right there, both squads fortunate that Alpha didn't decide to just third party that one, because that would have been just a disaster for that engagement. And next zone though is up. RTG looking to reposition. Loca Nostra committing to this prison area, trying to take some shots. Rad right behind them. The Great Migration, you can call it. And a lot of these teams down here to the south, they are just stacking up in these doorways to the shelter, making sure their vehicles are safe, and hey, just hoping that they can survive a little longer, because this is going to be a big challenge here. And here comes Rad.
Oh man, a lot of teams looking to crash in here on this angle. M249 shining. As Sandra's able to get that one done, take some shots back in return as the rest of the team is trying to rotate in on the outside. Delhop was a little bit too far in this last one, but steps up for the team when they need him now. We can hear the shots raining in though. Oh, and just barely drops.
Close, but we're not done yet. My teammates, they might be dead, but I'm going to pull up. I'm going to go for that revenge. Made it to the shack, but now you're solo. You're going to get the pickup. You're going to be a duo. I'm going to call it. That's the death shack. Everybody knows you're there. I don't know how you're going to make it out alive.
It's going to be really tough. You got RTG, you got Ghost. This is, and UDR Killers, this is going to be really, really tough. The big thing I'm noticing, though, is Ghost is hard split 2-2. You've got the duo. Actually, don't have the duo together. It's back in HH24 and Tensa and Bayo, so interesting here. As Ghost has UDR Killers right on their doorstep, but they have to be careful pushing forward. KP, after that fight with Team Queso, will go down themselves. Not the finish they were looking for here. At least able to pick up some kill points. As we're seeing LN pushing on the outside. Look at the shots, Dave! That gun's not moving! That spray is clean!
I think UDR, they're actually in the tunnels. I think they're in the shelter beneath them.
Oh.
And looking at the entrances to all the tunnels, they're all occupied from other squads. So UDR right now, their fingers are crossed and they're hoping that the next circle favors this area. A lot of teams all congested right on top of each other. Not only that, if the team is at the doorway and they suspect there's a squad underneath them, they can blow up their vehicles in the doorway and the blue zone will do all the damage for them.
I will indeed. They're just, and you're absolutely right, Dave. They are just stuck down there. They're taking damage. Loca Nostra is actually coming in here and playing gatekeeper, and it all comes down to this next circle shift. Top right of your screen. Where are we going to go?
UDR, they're trying to come out. They're trying to get out. They're spotted and they're quickly turning back around because these grenades and an M249 at the doorstep. Oh, UDR. Hopefully you can make it on that one.
Yeah, absolutely. They're going one way and the other. You've got RTG down there on the other side. Both teams just trying to escape. These are the Mines of Moria. You got Daddy Gandalf up there saying, "You shall not pass." Zrod is trying to do the same thing over here. Smokes Nade, but Nano and crew, they've got to make the push at some point. That's the Death Shack. We talked about it before. The Nade doesn't quite make it in. His Acer's on the outside. 19E joining in the party as well. Only one's above ground. His Ghost is trying to hold on his... This is just insane, Dave. We almost never see this kind of finish here. As once again, the battle of North America, Canada, USA, and 19E looking to take it one more time.
Yeah, Rad, they cannot be in that shack. They need to be watching that entrance, that doorway, and making sure that nobody makes it on out alive. Meanwhile, Tenta trying to make it on out of the doorway. USA down there, but Canada right here, waiting like a spider, waiting to pounce. And over here, Alpha7. Okay, we're in a fight. Q-Lash.
And just like that, Brazil and France going toe-to-toe as well. I mean, I know the Olympics are on, but guys, take it easy. It's just like that. Another crash is coming in here. This time it's NR as well, as Clash is getting pinched. Alpha7 just trying to stabilize. What a bloodbath here, Dave. We knew how many teams were coming into these final circle situations. We knew it was going to be intense, but I was not expecting this.
You got Brazil, you got France, and now you got Turkey making the pull up over here. A very aggressive squad coming on out from Turkey, and they were able to get that building, that compound for the time being. Frozen has the intel, sees those smokes, an indicator that there's going to be some enemies over here. And looks like Alpha7 very fortunate. They're getting the reset right in time, getting able to heal up and hopefully defend their little spot here. Or they could play this one out. It is in the zone. They don't need to be that aggressive. We'll see.
If Nextria Gaming knew how low Alpha7 was, I don't think they would have played that as passively as they did. They had 3 players down. They chain rezzed, and now Guns is coming in onto Ghost, able to stave off 19E as Alpha7 is taking the damage as well. Nextria Gaming is trying to survive. Good nades back and forth, though. Dave, the action does not stop as one after another. These ones are flying on through. Can they find the big opening knock they're looking for? That's the question.
Door right there. Solid grenades through the window, able to put a halt to the push from Alpha7. This will allow the pickup, the reset, the revive. And we see them, yeah, they're like, we don't want to push this. Pull back, pull back. They were devoting a little too many resources to this risky engagement. Is it even going to matter, though? Because this compound, not in the next circle. So, yeah, they wanted to play passive, but they're not going to have the chance to.
They are indeed, and Ghost Gaming, the ones not in the shelter, the ones up on the high ground playing Gatekeeper, are going to go down as well as we continue to see the picture-in-picture, the battle raging underground as the nades go back and forth. Frozen almost drops as Alpha7 has been able to full reset, and now that that's the case, Dave, I have to give them the advantage in this. I mean, this close-range fight, this is where they excel. However, Gooder gets the kill. Mafios drops, that's massive.
And Alpha7, they're already out of the compound for the most part on the opposite end of the broken wall. That's also pretty big, but here comes the collapse, here comes the push.
Yeah, they're pushing in now, but the molly, the shots are there, but Alpha7 Carrillo is going to drop. They're getting third party from Chivas. This is huge! The third party, they push themselves out of the compound, Dave, as Revo is trying to hold on and trying to survive. I don't know if they're going to be able to do it, but no, the third party's affecting. On the other side as well, Nextria Gaming, the drop shot comes in.
Drop shot, let's go. Chivas out there from Mexico, definitely applying that pressure. Huge fight right there. Hey, look who's still up. Look who's still up. Guns, they're still up. And this was that fight. HH24 venturing into the tunnels.
Wow.
RTG didn't even see what was coming.
I mean, Ghost Gaming almost won that. The third party from UDR Killers was the only thing that saved that squad down there. Dave, this is one of the most high-octane Erangel finishes I have seen in a very long time.
Imagine playing this high level of competitive and there's 3 teams in the shelter area. Like, nothing can really truly prepare you for that. It all comes down to just your CQC and if you can hit them shots. But the game's not over yet. We still have 7 teams alive. That's a lot of players.
Does Fran have an AWM? Oh my goodness, sorry. Everybody else is playing the close range game, and he's like, no. I gotta get the sniper. I gotta bring it out here. Chivas is actually in a pretty good position. They're the only squad with all 4 left, Dave, and no other team even has 3 solos, 3 duos. And Chivas Esports from Mexico doing work to stay up and in this as Destiny is pushing in. The last one standing, it's Beast. And then...
Oh no! 7 kills though, 7 kills though. Great game, great game. Great game for Destiny. You cannot be disappointed with that. You know who is disappointed though? UDR, because I'm trying to look over here. Guns right at their doorstep will be putting the ultimate door stopper, the blocker right here. And look at all these buggies. I don't even think they can make it on out of this entrance. I think they're just stuck like Chuck.
I don't think you live. I don't.
Pass your meds off to one person. That's what they need to do right now. Pass all the meds off to one person and just survive.
Well, now it's up to Sandro. That choice is being made quickly for them. Oh, Freak's looking for this. That's the one way you lose this, Freak. That is the one way that you lose. Teammate goes down. They will be able to pass the meds. The circle is really not favoring any of these teams except for maybe Guns. Oh, and the roof bounce. Absolutely sick. And now, Dave, this team that we've been hyped up for coming into this, they finally have an opportunity to play in the late game. Yes, they only have 2, but they've gotten quite a few kills. They've got some opportunities. UDR, though, had 12.
What? Yeah, hey, they were down there. They were the dungeon masters down there in Shelter. Let's be real. They were just stacking up. But to your point, yeah, 5 kills for Gun. Best game yet here. That's that confidence booster we were talking about. We'll see where they can come out on top. 4 teams to go. Alpha7 still alive, by the way.
That was 19E. I mean, Xenox, they rolled in ages ago. Guns know they're there.
Not anymore.
Guns know they're there. Okay, yep, that's the whole sentence. 19E going out. 4th place, though. Nicely done for them. They've been able to just survive in these really scrappy situations, but this is the opportunity now for Chivas to push the advantage. It is a 4v2v2. We've seen this situation before as they're pushing up onto the high ground. Freaks just trying to hold the off angle. I don't think they necessarily know that they're there. The blue is continuing to encroach, though. It all comes down to Fran, the hero play from game number 1. Can they repeat it here? Will Erangel be their map? That's the question, as Alpha7 could potentially pincer this. So they've got to be watching both angles simultaneously. This is actually massive for Alpha7, Dave. They could seriously play spoiler here.
They can, but they're going to be pinned down from a DP, and here comes the engagement right now. The spoil factor.
That was massive for Revo. Just the spray goes in. It all comes down to Nito, one of the last ones standing here, trying to survive behind the vehicles and the smokes as they're starting to explode. This is a huge opportunity for Alpha7 to push up into this next circle. Dave, they've done the work. This could actually be Guns' game now up in the high ground. I'm wondering, let's see what they can do, but it is only one player and the Reviser coming in for Chivas.
And this defensive smoke from Chivas, it is going to allow Alpha7 to just push right onto their doorstep. And to make matters worse, they got a crate. They got the crate, Paul.
They do indeed. Amuti's going to drop. Beautiful play. Alpha7, they could have played passive. They could have slowed down, but instead, Dave, they played for the win. They pushed into the only position that could possibly give them a defensible stance. And they've held on to it. It's a 3v2, but they got the crate. They've got the met. No, they don't really have much meds left. Son of Texas down to the dregs, but can this nade connect?
Ooh. We've seen Fran before. Clutch player, knows how to handle these situations when the pressure is turned up. But can they handle the grenade from Santa Texas? I think not.
Absolutely massive. Good damage going back, though. The molly goes a little bit short. Nito's going to try and go for the revive. It's a 2v2 situation right now. They're looking to try and get the res onto Fran. But this is giving a chance for Alpha7 to take over the high ground. I cannot believe it. Alpha7 was in the worst position, but they forged their fate. They took one step at a time, and now with Santa Texas being able to scrape some meds together. This is huge. This is an opportunity. It all comes down to the nades, Dave. One big opening knock could spell disaster for either team.
Revo, prone, AKM, 6 kills in hand. Huge angle right here. Are they aware of Revo's position? Blue zone going to be closing in here very shortly. It's going to pop off any moment.
I know he's there now. AK close range, M4, swapping up for that higher rate of fire. Can they find it? Santa Texas drops. Great shots from Rio. Connects on the headshot at the 3v1. This is it. Gotta get the wrap of the high ground. Does it with no damage taken. And now it's a 2v1. Now it's a 2v1. They gotta take this one smart, but he has the high ground. Can they find the angle? A couple more shots through the smoke. Revu's actually doing this right now, Dave. I cannot believe it. The scout is coming in on the outside. Fran drops, and he's gonna do it, Dave. I think he's gonna do it. One more player at a 3v1. The high ground, the angles. It all comes down to this. Gonna try and stick the revive as well. They can hear the footsteps. They know that this is possible. This would be absolutely huge. One last Molotov, and it's short. And they go for the shots. That's it.